Hello students, after seeing the inertia, today we are going to talk about the inertia and mass. So what is the relationship between inertia and mass that we are going to observe? So the inertia of an object is dependent upon its mass. Lighter objects have less inertia, that is they can easily change their state of rest or motion. And opposite to that, heavier objects have large inertia and therefore they show more resistance, right? So if I am going to give you example, suppose you two people pushing a car, then you can push it. आप उसको push कर सकते हो और कार को motion में ला सकते हो by pushing it, right? Suppose small any car is there, but if you are if you two people pushing any truck, then are you able to move that truck? No, because truck is heavier than any normal size car, and because of the heavy in mass, its inertia will be also more, right? So you are not able to come over that inertia, and because of that reason you are not able to push that truck, right? So that type of example you can take to understand the relationship between inertia and mass. So lighter object having a less inertia, while the heavier object having a large inertia. So hence mass is called a measure of the inertia of an object. So on the basis of these examples we can say that the mass is called a measure of the inertia of an object. So consider an image given below. It is easier for a person to push the bucket that is empty rather than the one that is filled with sand. This is because the mass of an empty bucket is less than that of the bucket filled with sand. So you can go through this figure, that then you can observe that this bucket which is empty, you can push it very easily, right? But if you try to pull this bucket which is filled with sand, then it would be very difficult or more difficult, as the mass of this bucket will be more, so inertia of this bucket is also going to be more as compared to the bucket which is empty, right? So we can have the relationship between inertia and mass, that mass is directly proportional to inertia. We can say that if the mass increasing, inertia is increasing, mass decreasing, inertia is also decreasing. Now let's we try to understand the second law of motion. So the impact produced by a moving object depends upon its mass and velocity. So for example, a small bullet fired at a high velocity can kill a person. Obviously we know a bullet fired with the gun can kill a person. So momentum, the product of mass and velocity is called momentum. So momentum is equal to mass into velocity, right? So it is a vector quantity. Vector quantity means depends on the direction. Its direction is same as that of the object's velocity. जिस भी direction में object move करेगा उसी direction में momentum होगा, right? So the momentum can be considered as the vector quantity, and because it depends on the direction of the velocity, right? So here the momentum means mass into velocity. So here if we are throw a bullet on any of the person with our hand, then that will not injure or kill that person, because the momentum will be not there. मोमेंटम इज मास इंटू वेलोसिटी. तो यहाँ पे बुलेट का मास तो सेम ही रह रहा है जब हम उसको गन से फायर करें या तो हाथों से थ्रो करें. एट दैट टाइम द मास ऑफ द बुलेट विल नॉट गोइंग टू बी चेंज, but yes, what about velocity? Velocity will going to be changed. We cannot produce that much velocity with the help of our hand, but the velocity will be gained by the firing it with the help of gun, right? Okay, so now momentum can be denoted by P, and the standard unit SI unit is kg meter per second. The unit for the momentum is kg meter per second. So we can write momentum is equal to mass into velocity, right? Where m representing mass of the object and v representing velocity of the object. So the formula for the momentum is P is equal to mv. The momentum of a stationary object. If you are talking about the momentum of a stationary object, then let the mass of a stationary object be m, right? And let the velocity of a stationary object is v. The stationary object has no velocity, it means we can write v is equal to 0, because here we have mentioned stationary object. The stationary object will not move. If it is not move, then it means its velocity will be 0. So in that case we can write p is equal to mass into velocity. As the velocity is 0, so momentum will also become 0, right? Okay. So the momentum of a stationary object will be 0. Now we know that the velocity of an object can be changed by applying an unbalanced force onto it. Obviously we can bring any of the object into motion by applying any external force onto it. So similarly, the momentum of an object can change by applying an unbalanced force. Velocity is directly proportional to momentum. So if velocity can be changed by applying force, then momentum can also be changed by applying force. So now according to the second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force on the object in the direction of the force. So here we can write that momentum of an object is directly proportional to the force applied onto that object. It means we can write P is directly proportional to F, right? मतलब कि momentum is directly proportional to the unbalanced force applied on the object. So we can take the example for it. For an example, a cricketer when catches a ball pulls his hand in backward direction to give some time to decrease the velocity of the ball. As the acceleration of the ball decreases, the force exerted on catching the moving ball also decreases, and if the cricketer would try to stop a moving ball suddenly, he would have to apply larger force. So when you are seeing the cricket, at that time you have observed, that while cricketer catch the ball, at that time he is pulling his hand backward, right? वो अपने हैंड को बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में क्या करेगा, पुल करेगा. सो व्हाई इज इट सो? टू ओवरकम द मोमेंटम. सो हियर we can go through the figure, like while the cricketer tried to catch the ball, at that time he is going to pull his hand in a backward direction like this way, so he can grab the catch easily and he don't need to apply more force, right? So this is the example. Now let's see the mathematical formulation of the second law of motion. So basically when we are talking about the second law of motion, we have to consider two objects. Suppose two objects will be there and their momentum is the momentum of any object is indicated by P2 and P1. P2 indicating the final momentum while P1 is indicating the initial momentum. So the total change in the momentum, we can write the change in momentum is directly proportional to final momentum minus initial momentum. So here P2 is the final momentum while P1 is the initial momentum, right? But the momentum is equal to what we have seen previously. इसी टॉपिक में हमने देखा that momentum is equal to mass into velocity, right? So for P2 momentum we can write mass into final velocity, or for P1 momentum we can write mass into initial velocity. So here U indicating initial velocity while V indicating final velocity, right? So if we are taking out m as a common, हम m को यहाँ से अगर common निकाल देंगे, so m into bracket v minus u, where v representing final velocity and u representing initial velocity. Now if we are giving rate of change of momentum, then while we are talking about rate of change of momentum, at that time we have to mention the time. So the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to m v minus u upon time t, right? Okay, so now as we know that momentum is equal to force, because momentum is directly proportional to force. So the above equation we can write for the force also. So force is directly proportional to m v minus u upon t, and now we all know that v minus u upon t is equal to what? Acceleration, right? We can write v minus u upon t is equal to acceleration. So we can write force is equal to m into a. And if we are taking out the proportionality sign, then we have to put the proportionality constant. So here k is the proportionality constant. So we can write force is equal to proportionality constant k into m into a, where m representing mass and a representing acceleration. Now the unit of force k is taken 1 because it would be 1 kg per 1 meter second, right? So it would be taken 1. So if in this equation we are taking k is equal to 1, so what we can write? We can write force is equal to m into a. It means force is directly proportional to the mass into acceleration. So this is the mathematical formulation of the second law of motion.